Today is part of a project which is called the Internet of Things, and we're trying to engage with the SMEs. Basically, this is a new sector for the UK where we've got a fantastic opportunity to develop a new industry, and part of that is trying to get SMEs to be involved.
It's really geared towards creating an ecosystem of like-minded companies that are interested in big data, in the Internet of Things, but in the specific context of the highways sector.
Identifying issues that we have and hopefully coming up with workarounds and programs and apps that will make our maintenance of the highways far easier and far more open to the public.
From the council's point of view, my client is looking at how they can interact and bring data out into the wider borough so that residents, members of the public can view that data.
We're looking to see our technologies, which are basically wireless technologies, whether we can be of help in the smart streets, because we have developed smart city applications previously.
One element of smart streets is to look at if we can be more intelligent about how we grit, how we apply winter maintenance. And Birmingham are very keen on integrating different sorts of data from all sorts of different areas to see whether we can actually provide information that is, if you like, greater than the sum of the individual parts.
By bringing the highway and by bringing more corporate data into the public sphere or even the private sphere, it brings more meaning to this massive amount of information and gives meaning to why we're storing and hosting all this large amount of data.
I'm here today to understand how we could potentially access data and use data from the street project. We're interested in how the data can be accessed and how we could potentially provide that back into the education sector.
John, the guy from InTouch, is a guy that's well known to me. Very supportive of the work that he's doing over in Morecambe, but more generally all the partnership stuff he's developing. Really, really keen that we try and understand a lot better the work between what he does as private sector and the support that he's getting from the university agenda as well. And we're quite keen to witness that so that we can look at how we maximise that so that other businesses can hopefully benefit from those interplays between university and private sector business.
I wanted to come at it from a marketing perspective and see how my expertise can guide it as being to be commercially viable.
Because at the moment it's getting all this interesting data in, and the more data we get, the more the whole will cost to run. So we need to start thinking, well, how can we find some way of making this sustainable?
I'd be interested to see how the linkages with social media can be brought in. There's been a number of conversations today which have been really interesting and have enlightened me on some of the key areas that need to be focused on. One of which particularly being the need for buy-in from public, from people on the ground to feed in information and collate that with other forms of data that are already accessible.
Hopefully we can use interfaces and web interfaces as a mechanism to say this is how you show it to people and make it easy to understand.
So whilst at the moment access to the hub is free for those entering the competition and will be for the duration of the competition, we need them to be aware that at some point there may be a requirement for us to start either charging for fees, for hosting, or various combinations of things. So before they go off and start designing these wonderful systems that they're being asked to design, they need to just be aware that at some point there will be a change. And we want to make sure that change fits with them. So I'm here to tell them that there may be a change, but to ask them what sort of changes would work for them and for the hub.